Apart from durability, tiles have to do a lot with design and lifestyles. Lifestyles have been evolving. When we say not just tiles, lifestyles, we mean our focus on some essential elements of today's lifestyle and alignment of our product offerings to these very elements.
We at Johnson have a philosophy in terms of we are not looking at tile design as an individual entity or in isolation. We look at tile as one of the elements of the interior space or exterior space, wherein the architects or an interior designer has conceptualized a certain idea and tile is just a supporting element to it.
In general, what we mean by durability is that tile must be mechanically very, very strong. That is one part of it. But at the same time, unlike dresses, unlike furniture, tiles are supposed to be there for a longer time. In that sense, even the functionality should be durable, even the aesthetic should be durable. So the whole idea was that when as an architect, you started with certain theme. It could be some geometry or it could just be a drop on the ocean, and that gives you an idea and you built your entire project based on that idea. When it comes to general flooring, where is that idea? Using off-the-shelf product could be a good idea. At the same time, there exists an opportunity that the soul of that floor might get some inspiration, might have some accentuating element which relates to the overall idea, original idea of the architect, and that was the whole theme, and we are approaching and we are getting very good response. And I am sure that despite a lot of or certain limitations, there is a way to go forward. So let's see, but I am quite hopeful and I think we'll do it.
So the idea of co-creation is bringing different people together, different minds together, and being able to create something new. I think it's a really interesting time for brands to tie up with designers, to be able to create ideas and ranges and be ahead of the trend, be ahead of the curve, anticipate what is coming, what is new, or what could be the next design feature, and be able to bring that forward.
So we are in the industry where design is driven by architects and interior designers, and this way we consider ourselves as a part of this fraternity.
Our concerns need to transform beyond mere aesthetics. You know, we need to start looking at a larger picture. We need to bring in the social responsibility, the environmental responsibility, and being able to create a world that I would say is beautiful, and currently it's not. Because my sense of design is completely different from yours, and who's to decide?
As a brand or as a company, we are immersed in technology, we are immersed in research and development. And this R&D is not just limited to tiles. For example, we created ceramic membrane to resolve the potable water issues in India. We also created component for the batteries. What makes your battery today, you don't need to put water into your battery. So similarly, a lot of such experiments or research, when it is proven, we translate it into ceramic tile also.
So path-breaking route, if you imagine joint-free porcelain or tile, it is launched by Johnson. And scratch-free tile, germ-free tile, tactile, anti-static tiles, everything is by Johnson, and all the things are functionality, improvement of the function, need of the society. Germ-free tiles, you see, this is our patented product. It works 24/7, and it is not a product of any organic chemical. See, you know, worldwide cyclosin is banned. It is not a cyclosin product, not like hand sanitizer or toothpaste. It is a silver nano-based compound product where silver component in moisture come out, leaching out of tiles and attack the protoplasm of the bacteria, and silver ion kill the bacteria. So it is a 99% germ sure, it is inorganic stable, it is 24/7, long life, as well as inert to the human body. So this technology we developed and we patented. and it is the only unique product from Johnson, Antistatic Tiles. As you know, tile is an insulator, and it is purposeful. It should be insulator in most cases, but some cases it requires tile should be conducting. Why? In a friction, in a electronic industry, lot of PLC center, petrochemical industries, chemical industries generate lot of static electricity, and this static electricity required to dissipate it through the floor. Otherwise, it can explode at any point of time, because human body is the only conductor, other things are insulator. So any electronic charge, it will be get distorted and it will be get fire. So our R&D center take an initiative, developed it, industrially proved it in a higher scale, and it's a foolproof product. Third product I can say is, which we are going to launch, is our radiation shielding tiles.
So one of the projects that we were designing was a mall, and that was really interesting because we'd never really worked on a mall before. And one of the most important parts of the mall is the flooring. So the flooring was a very integral part, and it was very important for us to choose the right kind of flooring, not just from a design perspective, but also from the structural perspective and understanding what kind of tile would be good for the mall. And that's where Johnson kind of stepped in. They were very instrumental in helping us understand the different types of tiles and helping us make a selection that was right for the mall. Immediately, Johnson came forth and said that, hey, we will customize this tile for you. So that was amazing, because definitely just jumped at the chance, the ability to be able to create something unique for a project of that scale. I hadn't even imagined of that. So it was a great experience to actually do that. The entire process was really smooth, right from helping us design the tile to the prototyping and its final approval at the end.
Collaboration and co-creation with designers is one of our recent initiatives. Idea is to use our innovation and technical expertise with your thought and expertise on aesthetics and styling.
And it was a very modern design. We wanted to break away from the beiges and the typical kind of palettes that the majority of the malls play with. And the branding team had come up with this beautiful, very design-forward, modern concept, and we wanted to have the right kind of canvas for it. It became confusing, kind of going through or understanding the different materials, and that's actually where Johnson stepped in. So they invited us to their studio. I'd come with the purchase manager, and we had a really interesting time going through the entire product range over here and understanding the difference between the various tiles, the various vitrified tiles, the glazing process, the way the tile is made. And that kind of helped us really come to a conclusion as to what type of tile to use in this kind of scenario. And that entire process was really informative, very engaging, and they were so patient and were very honest with us. Actually, that was a very interesting experience, because they would straight away tell us that this is not the range that you should go for, this is the problem with the range, and that kind of helped us build a certain amount of trust with them and said, okay, fine, if we are going for this, then that means that this is something that would last us. And while I was trying to go through the entire catalog and go through the store and try and find the tile, I was having a bit of a tough time figuring out something that would resonate with the design theme that we had created. And that is actually when Mr. Vyas and Pragati kind of put forth and said that, we can design a tile for you. Like, why don't you tell us what you want and we'll customize it for you. And that was just amazing, because we do that our studio does that on a regular basis with our restaurants, and because we're always trying to create something new. Customization is extremely important, especially in design, especially when you're working on unique projects, because you don't want to go and pick up a tile off the shelf. You don't want something that has already been used by somebody else before. So the idea that I could have that in such a massive scale was very exciting. And it was very interesting because we shared our mood palette with Pragati, and Pragati was able to pull out existing tiles that she had that she could play with, and even if it was the texture that I didn't like, she would ask me what is the kind of texture I'd like, and managed to kind of bring that in. And watching them kind of do that on the computer was also quite, it was really interesting to sit with Pragati and see how the entire team builds the design from scratch, plays with the color, and then of course going down to the prototyping.
So we are currently doing a cricket pavilion at Dapoli, which is inspired by English County style pavilion in England. And it's a 3-story neo-traditional building which has staircases, grand elements and other things sort of embedded into it. And the whole idea was to sort of create that cricket county-like ambience in developing the playground and the club. So the real challenge was what makes it a neo-traditional building? You know, I mean, typically when you look at English County style pavilions, it's the grand staircases, sloping roofs, deeper verandas, sash windows with muntins, trims, and so on and so forth. But along with that, I think one very important element that is sort of consistent throughout is the Victorian tiles. And that is something that we really wanted to bring about into our project, and to a point where we, along with promoters, started looking for it and nothing was readily available. And we had to even think about sourcing them from England and so on and so forth. Just as chance would have it, the top management was visiting our offices. We started talking about it, and they sort of showed their interest in developing those tiles. So for us, that was really quite a good thing that these guys had taken as an initiative, because it was not innovation, it was actually going back to the origins.
Lifestyle has been taken something which is, show off wealth, or connected with elitism, or something which is not common, which is not affordable by everyone. But definition of lifestyle and meaning of lifestyle is also evolving. To us, what we mean by lifestyle, we see the 5 basic elements of modern day lifestyle. First and foremost is health and hygiene. Second is safety. Third is concern for environment. Fourth is freedom to choose from multiple options, multiple good options from wide range. And fifth, and equally important, is to make informed decisions.
I think there's a lot of change in terms of what the earlier tile design used to happen. There is a major change right from the set of the space of the studio. The space of the studio itself is more digitalized. Secondly, also there's a lot of reach in terms of the global design studios, or even a lot of material explorations is much visible at this point of time today, which was not there much earlier.
We taken a product this with CGCRI, Central Glass and Ceramics, and Department of Science, DST. They sponsoring a project with us, and we are also invested money to develop a membrane which can use to remove arsenic from water at 0 cost, more or less.
Because I really see a deep disconnect between the construction industry vendors or manufacturers and what designers are thinking. And somewhere, I mean, that disconnect and that bridge has to be gapped.
Hospitality is a very interesting space because it allows for a lot of our crazy ideas to come into play, and part of that is actually trying to create something unique for our customers. And that process means that we have to create new interesting things, and more often than not we find ourselves in the position of having to collaborate and having specialized people come in to help us build something new for our clients. And that, I think, is pretty much the crux of what today's design community is about, where we all bring in what we are good at, what we specialize in, and help create interesting products, interesting things that make everything unique, every design project a little bit different than the other one.
We are making quite a few digital and physical engagement with this fraternity. because finally the dialogue has to take place between the designer and the product maker. Inside Journal is one of the example that we are patronizing, and there is one more platform that has been created and we are patronizing it, we are very closely associated, is Frame event at Goa.
For us, Frame is a culmination of a lot of our ideas and efforts over the last 10 years. It's a platform that we want to create for an inclusive and an honest discussion on issues that are close to architecture and environment in India.
We cannot limit our discourse to interior designers or decorators or whatever. Instead, let's be positive and think about, maybe it's work in progress, it takes time, but create a platform where, you have the best of the minds to adjudicate those designs. You weigh them on several parameters, so you literally have, you literally have a rating system where right from environment to the ease of maintenance, high quality design, the finishes, you rate everything on that, and based on that you select the designs which are pre-approved. And who knows, down the line, let's say Johnson's House of Design, I would call that, becomes such a reliable name that, if I'm going there and picking something from there, it's like that brand is so reliable, they've scrutinized everything, that I know the product I'm getting is the best.
So in nutshell, if I say, we are looking for every opportunity that we can sustain and which can bring the direct dialogue between the designers and the product maker.